Hey, what's up, YouTube family? Welcome back to the DaVon Lewis Show podcast. Appreciate you guys coming through for a WWE Monday Night Raw review, which was live from the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. There was so much that took place, including a lot of returns, which was concluded on the Netflix streaming service. The commentary on deck for the show was Pat McAfee and Michael Foley. Let's go ahead and talk professional wrestling. Appreciate you guys coming through for this lovely edition review. Don't forget to smash the like button, share the content to get the algorithm up, and more importantly, I would love for you guys to comment down below. But let's go ahead and get into the actual review for Monday Night Raw on Netflix. Appreciate you guys coming through. All right, we're going to kick things right into the opening segment. John Cena kicked the show off. It was the most reaction favorite moment of the night. A whole lot of taunts, a whole lot of booing and cheering. He even tried to play a little bit of friction with the relationship with the fans. He was filling them out, and he fluctuated the way how things were smoothing. He talked about making his in-ring return, and then of course having the power in his hands. He revealed to the audience that he only has 27 dates left. He doesn't have to wrestle for all those dates, but has to make appearances. He says there's no one with the power, the speed, the wisdom, or the ruthless aggression to take him out. He goes on to tell his friends to get their cameras out for a photo of an opportunity while he's holding the WWE Championship and being the last champion. Before that happens, Randy Orton comes from behind, drops him with an RKO. Randy then holds up the championship belt as John Cena is laid out, and the crowd begins to chant and sing Randy Orton's song. My big feeling about this was a great segment. John Cena was really on the crowd from start to finish. He kept things running smoothly with his promo. He is a master of his craft, and he knows how to control the situation. Not letting the fans take over the show, no matter how much they try with their chants and boos, or even their cheers. Cena kept things calm, cool, and collective, being serious and honest on what he felt. I still have a true mixed feelings on his heel turn, but for sure, you're going to boo him if he decides to go out there and says he wants to beat up your family member or your mama, and you're just going to want to punch him in the face. John Cena winning the championship was the best decision, setting up so many interesting stories for Cena's retirement tour. But tonight, the clock turned back time with a return of an old rivalry within the Viper, Randy Orton. If you told me 10 years ago that I would see this revisited feud in 2025, I would have thought you was kidding. But this revisited feud from the past will be a fresh, very exciting movement when it comes to John Cena and Randy Orton moving forward in 2025. Most likely this match is going to be set up at Backlash in St. Louis, and I look forward to seeing them clash in the near future. Then we get to a video package of Bayley recapping being taken out at WrestleMania. It was announced that she was going to go foresee a future of a dislocated shoulder and a torn labrum. Now it's time to get into the rematch for the Tag Team Championship for the women's division, which we had Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch coming off victorious at WrestleMania and becoming the new Tag Team Champions. But things was a bittersweet moment with this rematch as the championships were on the line again. But the difference, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez defeated Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria, but things really broke down to quickness. Becky Lynch snapped after turning on Lyra after the loss. She ended up hitting her with multiple strikes and hit her with the manhandle slam afterwards. But this was a lovely rewind back from WrestleMania Night 2. The match was well timed and paced, and it didn't feel rushed, and it was a lot better after their first encounter from yesterday. Becky Lynch's turn didn't feel organic, but it felt forced. To making a switch leading to the new challenge for Lyra Valkyria was the right move for her because she needs to have a notable challenger or something at this point. The feeling felt like it was lazy booking, but one positive note is Lyra finally has someone she actually can feud with a few months heading ahead, instead of just random matches just being put together on the Monday Night Red brand. But in overall, it was good stuff seeing the actual breakdown of everything. Then we get to the New Day, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. They come out to celebrate their victory as the new WWE World Tag Team Champions. More importantly, they captured the gold for the 13th time. This is a big celebration. They played into their hero, but before they even got to talk further, Maxine Dupree comes out with Otis and Akira Tozawa. She reminds the New Day that the lady lasted very, very quick of a loss of 60 seconds the last time they faced each other. She challenged them to a match right then and there, but of course, they played the heel tactics, but then they agreed to it. But before the match got underway, the lights go out. Then we get that silhouette of a new theme. Who comes back? Rusev comes back to the WWE. He takes out Alpha Academy as Maxine cries on the outside. The New Day escaped quickly. They were out of there like ghosts. The crowd went crazy for Rusev and they started to chant New Day. Well, Rusev Day, rather. And he appeared to keep his demigod gimmick back from when he was in AEW. And it was a nice touch to see him make his return. But the question is, who's going to be his opponent? With the New Day as the tag team champions after a lackluster match at WrestleMania, I'm enjoying the heat that the New Day are receiving. They are known to how to get the fans into a frenzy. Akira Tozawa and Otis are always a lot of fun, but them challenging New Day was immediately underwhelming with the feeling that the underdogs were facing the veterans. But thankfully today is a new day, and it's Rusev Day. The Bulgarian Bruce saved us from the title match no one wanted to see. He looked great in his return to WWE, and he will be a true dominant force when it comes to the red brand or blue brand. There's always a decision where he has signed yet. Then we get to the Judgment Day, who is celebrating in the clubhouse with Finn Balor, who comes in. He appears to be making a nice with Dominic Mysterio, but says that he will be at ringside for his upcoming title defense against Penta in Las Vegas. So we got to tune in and see how things break down. But then we get to the big situation segment of the WWE Women's World Champion Io Sky is out and about. She is celebrating her victory over Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair. She was suddenly interrupted by the NXT Women's Champion Stephanie Valkyrie. They are cordial with one another, and then Stephanie says she wants a match with Io, who immediately accepts, but Adam Pearce comes out, and of course the fans end up booing him. But he played into the crowd and made it official. The match was quick. It was a lot of fun. This match had a whole lot that went on. Io Sky defeated Stephanie Valkyrie via disqualification after Julia speared Io Sky. Julia was in the ring, and then Roxanne appeared as well in the ring. They both smiled at each other and attacked Io Sky and Stephanie Valkyrie. Rhea Ripley hit the ring and made the save, and Ripley hands Sky her championship and tells her she's coming for the title, setting up the still pending feud of what's going on, including the situation that's currently going on NXT. But I enjoyed the debut of Stephanie Valkyrie. This wasn't initially a call-up to the main roster, but it was a great showcase by NXT. These two women had a great back-and-forth match. Even the crowd was chanting, "This is awesome." The women turned things up to a different level. The best in-ring chemistry between them both on Monday Night Raw. Despite the different levels of each woman are currently on, there were several key moments and factors where it seemed Stephanie Valkyrie would have came away with the victory, but the DQ was a good way to protect both ladies on their respective brands, and I most importantly look forward to seeing how things pick up when it comes to Io Sky and Rhea Ripley heading into Backlash, including tomorrow night as Roxanne Perez takes on Stephanie Valkyrie for the NXT Women's Championship. Then we get to the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion, Jey Uso, who was out to yeet the night away with the crowd to celebrate his win. The crowd asked Jey Uso to do it again. He ran it back one more time, and he went ahead and yeeted with the fans for another good moment. Jey announced the World Heavyweight Championship is now in your city, and the crowd cheered as Jey stated that he is here and now. Jey gave it up and gave props to Gunther at WrestleMania, but Jey made Gunther tap out. The crowd chants he tapped out. Then who comes out? Sami Zayn. He interrupts and he hugs Jey Uso and says he was not there to help him. And Jey says he was going through his own stuff with Gunther and it was hard on him. But the situation was what it was. Not being WrestleMania was hard on him, but he also didn't come to Las Vegas. But he made it there anyway. Sami Zayn had to be here for the first person to tell Jey that he is proud of him. Jey and Jey deserve the championship, and everyone knows it. Zayn says that he's here to celebrate and hit Jey's music. Before we end up having Jimmy Uso coming out. They came up with the whole situation and Zayn stand there behind like he was going to attack him. But Zayn hugged Jey again, and of course the situation broke down before resuming with a massive yeeting. This is a nice touch segment, but it went a little bit too long and it got to the point. But I was waiting for Sami to turn heel in the segment with either a haluva kick to either Jimmy or Jey, but it was just a simple celebration for now with his brothers who sat with Jey Uso trusts. Then we get to Logan Paul, who was being interviewed by Kathy Kelly backstage. Kathy asked if Logan could have done it without his friend and Karrion Kross at ringside. Logan Paul says that he won, so that's what matters in the books. He said he wrestled anybody at any time while claiming that anybody against him will be a victim when it comes to the pulverizer. The segment was solid. Then we went ahead and went into the AJ interview. AJ Styles. He was interviewed by Jackie Redmond backstage, and Styles said that the loss was hard thing to swallow. Styles said that he's taking that L, but he'll move on and be okay. Before he was about to talk, Karrion Kross, Scarlett interrupted him. Kross wasn't having it. He says Styles can't bounce back after losing to Logan Paul because he legitimized Paul, and Styles said that he hated being the person he was a year ago. He never is going back, and Styles said that if he hit Paul with the brass knuckles and pinned him, he would have solved nothing. Styles went on to say if Kross wanted to be angry at the world, don't take Styles down with him. Styles told Kross to solve the problem himself, and Kross said, maybe I will, and I will end it. Which I'm looking forward to seeing how the situation break down. It's going to be good. Karrion Kross even went on a situation on a podcast, and he vented his frustration. He said a whole lot. I highly recommend you see that video. And he went in on that promo, and it was a great situation from Karrion Kross. They need to go ahead and strap the rocket to his back and let him do his own thing, which I look forward to seeing what Karrion Kross makes of himself. Then there was a break from the fans, and they see Austin Theory and Grayson Waller doing a promo. Waller said, welcome home, Rusev. Waller claimed that there were number one contenders for the tag team titles, and Theory said they deserved the titles. But of course, who ended up arriving? The War Raiders. They interrupted the situation and told Waller and Theory to get lost, and they left. Still breathing, but Eric said that they saw what the New Day won and how they stole the tag team championship from them at WrestleMania. But right now, the Raiders are on, and it's Raw is War. And that ended that actual segment, which is calm, cool, and collective in an okay segment. Then Gunther shows up at ringside in all black. He is weird. He is frustrated without having the actual championship. Gunther was greeted by "You tap out" chants by the fans. Gunther was yelling at Michael Cole at ringside, and Cole wondered why Gunther was mad at them. Cole said that he was doing his job. Gunther took Cole's headset off, and McAfee tried to save Michael Cole. Gunther grabbed Cole and put him in a sleeper, which was surprising. McCaffrey went in and shoved and punched Gunther. Of course, Adam Pearce and all of the officials came running down with the security that was at ringside. And Gunther grabbed McCaffrey and ended up choking him out as well and putting him to sleep on the floor. I don't know what's going on with the situation. Pat McAfee's associates from his podcast ran down there to try to help, but all the staff was all tied up with them, and they couldn't break up the situation that was going on with Pat McAfee being on the floor for about 2 minutes, and the fans were chanting, "F you, Gunther." And they were swearing. Of course, it was being bleeped out on Netflix and being muted, but the W officials made Gunther leave at some point, and the fans shouted, "You tapped out." As Gunther went to the back, McCaffrey was selling an attack, and he was coughing while Cole and the others tried to help Pat McAfee to the back and get things all situated in a slowly manner as they went up the ramp. Of course, he was selling it, going to the break room, and of course, Michael Cole says he had to handle his business, and he's not going to let a bully take him out of the situation, and he headed back to the ringside to announce everything that was going on. But it was a nice selling from Pat McAfee being helped to the back. Also, the trouble situation that was going on with that segment. It was very rare to see McAfee get into a physical altercation, but it's been a few years since he wrestled. But Pat is in good shape, and it's possible this could lead to an angle with Pat McAfee and Gunther to set up a match. Pat also deserved credit for helping Michael Cole when Cole needed it. So it puts over Pat McAfee as being a good friend, and that's always the good heat on Gunther, as he's currently being an angry heel who was mad about losing the World Heavyweight Championship. It will continue to be interesting to see how Gunther bounces back after losing the title, and it's going to be a good segment moving forward in a new era. Then we get to the Intercontinental Championship match. We had Dominic Mysterio with Carlito and Finn Balor defeating Penta after JD McDonough returned to shove Penta off the top while Carlito was distracting the referee, and Dom hit the 6-1, following up with the Frog Splash victory to get the 1, 2, and 3. First thing first, welcome back JD McDonough after missing a few months of action from a serious injury, and the ending was the way it should have been to bring back JD McDonough to help Dominic retain the championship. It also gives Penta out because he lost due to JD's interference. I assume most of the Dominic's title defenses will continue to be the same pattern. It's going to be the same outcome every single time where he gets help from the other members of the Judgment Day to keep the Intercontinental Championship and retain it. But the situation is, if this keeps turning around with Dominic getting cheered, he might turn to a face, and Finn turns into a heel with the whole entire situation that's going on. Finn is still eyeing that Intercontinental Championship, and the drama continues to build up each and every single week. Then we get to Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman closing out the night as the two arrived to the ring together, which felt like a surreal moment. Rollins stood in the ring and embraced the cheers as the fans sing the song. Even got some beer, some booze, which offered usual in his entrance. He's the visionary, the revolutionary, and he's Seth freaking Rollins. Of course, he stole Roman Reigns' wise man, CM Punk's best friend, and he won the main event at WrestleMania. He cues cult personality, took off his jacket to prepare for a Punk to run down there. Punk hits the ring and he immediately begins to go after each other. Punk brutally beats down Rollins as Heyman watched Punk turn the situation, but Heyman sees how things are breaking down as they chant "You effed up." Roman Reigns comes down as well, and the situation even gets more intense as somebody who we did not expect to see was Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker came down there after Roman had cleared house. Superman punch, even I believe he speared Paul Heyman. Then the situation really broke down after things concluded WrestleMania 41. It was just great timing of the way how things are approaching towards WrestleMania 42. And on top of the, Heyman talked about during the promo about how things were as a new reign situation. And on top of that, being a top guy, but his new client was no other than Braun Breaker. The situation broke down as Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker took care of business, beat down both guys, but the cherry on top was when Braun Breaker speared not only CM Punk, but he also speared Roman Reigns. Then he speared Roman Reigns through the barricade on the outside to take care of business, and the situation concluded with Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker embracing, and then Paul Heyman raising his new guys who are officially a part of his alliance. Is this the new WCW alliance faction being brought to WWE, the Paul Heyman Alliance? I'm all for it, and I look forward to seeing how things continue to progress when it comes to Paul Heyman. But the situation was good as the cameras rolled and panned to Paul Heyman smirking. The closing segment threw me off for a big loop with how everything broke down with Paul Heyman really is a genius for his own craft. More importantly, Heyman was able to get the services of Braun Breaker to become his newest acquisition member for the alliance that he put together with Seth Rollins. Breaker and Rollins took care of business to set up Roman Reigns and CM Punk after a double betrayal of the century at WrestleMania Night 1. The crowd really popped very hard for Roman Reigns in this segment. The spot really impressed me, which was the spear in the barricade by Braun Breaker when he hit Roman Reigns through it. This officially is the new reset in the era in a big way with the new alliance of Braun Breaker, Seth Rollins, and Paul Heyman. Do we get a rebuilt Heyman alliance? Only time will tell. But the situation is highly interesting to see what will happen. More importantly, I had enjoyed the closeout of the actual night. There you guys have it for the night after WrestleMania, with a fresh relief to seeing the guard change on the Monday Night Raw brand, which was calm, cool, and collective, including the Tag Team Championship rematch, which was underwhelming for the women's division, but it was a nice course leading to Becky Lynch and a particular turn heel on Lyra Valkyria after losing to the new four-time women's tag team champions of Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. This is a fresh fruit which will likely reverse in time, belonging to the big one, which I'm referring to John Cena and Randy Orton, after the lovely, beautiful RKO, which delivered to the new WWE champion. But the biggest highlight of the night was the new Paul Heyman alliance of Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker, who really boosts the overall feel of the show after setting up Roman Reigns and CM Punk. It helped a whole lot for the show with the unpredictability of which could happen in a long haul as of late, and I really enjoyed the closing. The highlight debuts on the show were, more importantly on the red brand, was a nice touch, being today officially Rusev Day, as he is officially back when he dominated the Alpha Academy in a quick fashion way. I wonder who will be as the first official feud on the Monday Night brand. Also seeing the showcase of the NXT women being involved, including Julia, Roxanne Perez, and Stephanie Valkyrie, really rejuvenated the women's division. The draft is going to be a lot of fun when these ladies make their call up to the main roster, and I fully look forward to seeing how things break down. Everything else was even solid, including the Dominic Mysterio getting over with the crowd, which was a big surprise one with the Vegas crowd. But it was a night after WrestleMania, and it was everything that you truly could have expected for Monday Night Raw. But more importantly, I enjoyed everything, and there you have it for the latest edition of Monday Night Raw on Netflix. What was your favorite match of the show? How excited are you guys for Rusev's debut back in WWE? Also, what is your thoughts on the new Paul Heyman alliance? Post your comments down below. More importantly, don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe, turn on notification bell so you never miss a video when it comes to being updated on this channel. More importantly, you guys are amazing. Continue to be troopers as we head towards 5,000 subscribers. I'm your host, DaVon. You have been watching the DaVon Lewis Show podcast. Stay tuned for more news and updates on the next episode. I will catch you guys later. Have a great Monday, and I'll catch you guys later. Until then, you guys be safe. Peace.